Hey everybody, and welcome to another episode of Deckinaround Reviewed. Today, we're going to be taking a look at I AM ARRR from Abstract Effects. But before we jump into it, make sure to like the video and subscribe to the channel.
And ring the bell. No.
So from the creative minds of the other brothers come an effect that is 5 years in the making. One of the very first concepts ever developed by the imaginative duo. Produced by Abstract Effects, I AM ARRR is a unique and surprising pendulum which provides you an opportunity to perform incredible mentalism with a shocking reveal. So as the ad copy mentions, this is a mentalism gimmick. One of the really cool things about this is the gimmicked pendulum itself provides, the reveal for a spectator's card trick. The idea behind it really is amazingly clever. I think, when I was watching through the instructional review, the moment where they really get to the point, there's actually several points throughout the entire thing, but the moment where they really get to the reveal, I was like, you know what, that's a clever idea. But I think one of my favorite things about this is the fact that there's so much ability to customize this entire gimmick and effect to suit your own routine. Very much the suggested and kind of taught tutorial there is great, but easily and immediately I was coming up with other ideas and ways you could use this gimmick pendulum to do amazing mentalism tricks, even outside of what they had taught within the video, which I think is really a great sign of a worthwhile gimmick and tutorial.
Yeah, I mean, it obviously shows, yourself not being a magician at all, coming up with ideas. It definitely is a trick that can be done by beginners. It
Absolutely.
also comes with a deck of cards, so you can literally do the trick right out of the box. And there is a multitude of different routines that you can do.
So, and like Steve said, this being something that's beginner friendly, by no means is limited to beginners. The instruction itself and the ability to pick this up is very beginner oriented, so it's easy to go through the tutorial. It's about 25 minutes long, and there's some pretty good energy to it. That being said, throughout the entire thing, you as a beginner, intermediate, or professional magician are going to learn things that are going to be very helpful in this routine, and also just in general, adding little forces and things like that to your repertoire that supplement the gimmick and the routine being taught in this video.
Yeah, no, I totally agree. And the one thing that I thought of, and this just might be me, but something like this, the gimmick pendulum, you don't necessarily have to have it as a pendulum or in a pendulum form. You could definitely take this chain off, put it as a necklace. If you're going to use it in your routine, you can wear it around your neck, take it off where it's not, stuck in your pocket and stuff like that. So it is definitely something that can be used in other ways as well.
Absolutely. It's definitely very versatile. The construction on it as well seems solid, so you're paying a reasonable price for something that's in theory going to last you a while. It's not going to fall apart, which I think is always crucial when you are buying gimmicks. You want something that's going to be sturdy and going to hold up to use. I think one of the things that really stood out to me as well about this, and I think this is towards the tutorial itself, like I said, was very high energy. The one thing that I thought was a little different about this versus what we've seen with other tutorials for gimmicks and downloads is the introduction of it kind of just jumped right into the tutorial without any fanfare or kind of introduction. And while a couple minutes into it, that was a non-issue. At beginning, it was almost a little bit jarring because I was like, oh, they didn't really show a routine using it. They didn't really introduce themselves or the trick. It just, the video starts up and in you go. I think for people who, yeah, it was an interesting kind of take, and it's something that, as much as I don't expect a ton of, movie quality production to go into these things, the video production quality itself was actually very good, which is why it surprised me that there wasn't a little bit of that flashy intro and, walkthrough.
Yeah, no, I mean, I totally agree. I think the only thing that negative that I could say about it is, I agree with you. I think kind of starting with a base of what the trick is, whether it's showing in the trailer, whether it's basically a lot of tutorials just walk through the process first. They do the trick itself, and then they go into the tutorial. And I think that is just beneficial. It doesn't need to be done, depending on the trick or gimmick, but I think it would have been definitely good here.
Absolutely. I think this is such a visual and such a unique gimmick and trick that it would have been helpful to see it play through fully first so you know what to kind of look for. That being said, again, that is the only kind of critique of the tutorial. I think the energy was high there. Daryl and Daryl did a phenomenal job kind of playing off each other. Obviously, having worked together for a long time, they have a good rapport. But that being said, they both kind of played off of each other as they walked through the tutorial, giving suggestions and ideas to each other that then also obviously benefited the viewer. The other thing about it is being a partnership there, their energy was great. They really got you into it. Originally kind of again being jarred in the beginning, once you started seeing what this was all about, they really pull you into the tutorial and get you excited to be learning this. The 25 minutes went relatively quickly. I wouldn't say that's a longer tutorial. We've definitely seen some, 45, 50 minutes long, but by no means is 25 minutes short either, but it didn't feel long, which I think is such a crucial thing. And it really was just fun to learn. I think sitting down to watch the video, like I mentioned earlier, I immediately was coming up with ideas that I could use this whole gimmick and routine in my own kind of way, which normally doesn't happen a lot of times when I watch these. I usually watch these with the idea in mind of being able to do the routine they're showing, but this one went so far beyond that.
Yeah, I was just mesmerized by Daryl's mustache.
It absolutely was a phenomenal mustache, and I have to
It's on
say,
point, man. It's on
yeah,
point.
no, it absolutely was. I think you couldn't have gone wrong with that mustache. It fit perfectly, and I think the cool part about this whole kind of gimmick and routine as well was just the ease of use with it. I think the gimmick itself obviously would work best at like a table setting. There isn't really much angle specifics with it. You don't have to worry too much about angles because you're controlling most of what's being seen by the spectator. That being said, working at a table probably would be a little bit easier for this, especially with the routine that they ran through. But again, with the limitless possibilities for a creative magician to use this in their own routine, I could definitely see ways that this could also be used in a, street magic or walking around magic setting, though with a little bit more difficulty, I'd say.
Yeah, I think the best way to do that would be to have another spectator basically hold out their hands, or to participate, where it's two friends kind of playing along in the trick, and I think that might make the reveal that much more of a kicker.
Absolutely. I really do think that there are so many ways that using this gimmick pendulum, the reveal can be mind-blowing and fresh every time. That's what I think was one of the cool things about it. The underlying concepts were really valuable to hear and they're really interesting, but the idea of using that pendulum in so many limitless ways really was exciting.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah. Well, thanks everyone for checking out this episode of Deckin Around Reviewed. Make sure to like the video and subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. I Am ARRR is going to be available starting November 16th. It is available right now for pre-sale at your favorite Murphy Magic retailers as well as abstracteffects.com. So make sure to go check it out. It retails for $30.
Peace. R.